Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hot Topics. I have to be, you guys know I'm always extremely honest with you. I overslept this morning. I woke up about 30 to 40 minutes late, and I I had to rush down here because I'm at the Google conference, and I had to rush here, and so here I am. I cannot believe that I made it. How are you guys doing this morning? Where are you streaming from? Sorry to be a little bit late, but it's not that bad, and I'll tell you why. I didn't even tell my team this. I forgot. I was at this beautiful event last night where I was the host or the MC of the event, and it's called Native Son. The Native Son. I'll send it to the team if you guys want to put it in. But it is a Native Son Awards. One of the honorees was Coleman Domingo. The fantastic actor Coleman Domingo, who received an award, and he was shocked and surprised. I knew because I had the script, and a couple of people. Cynthia Erivo was there. But I'm just going to tell you guys, I'll send this to the team. If you can get it up, it would be great. This is just a couple of the photographs. So I was up late, way later than I thought. And again, like I said, I was the host of the MC. So I had to. If you guys see this stuff, send it. I forgot to tell you about it. So Coleman Domingo got an award, and he was surprised because I saw it in the script, and you'll see who introduced him. He was shocked. And I was sitting next to him, between him and another honoree, Paul Tazwell, who just won a Tony on Sunday night. And Cynthia Erivo introduced him, and I saw it in the script. But this is Coleman Domingo getting the award last night. And do you guys know who that is? Anna Wintour came and presented him awards. He was in tears. He was shocked. He had no idea. He's like, Don, why didn't you tell me? I'm like, I couldn't. It wasn't my idea. It was, I had nothing to do with it. I was just the MC, but I did see the script beforehand because so that's Anna Wintour. And so Coleman Domingo got the Native Son Award last night here in New York. And I just had the real honor of being the MC for the evening. So it was just really great. And Cynthia Erivo, fantastic, and a bunch of other celebrities there and stars. So anyway, that's why I'm a little bit late, because I was up late and been up late the night before as well. So, I'm working for you guys and trying to just keep it all together. Again, last night, everyone, we love the Don Lemon Show. I'm a Lemon head. I'm Lemon Nation. Great. All that stuff. And lots of folks asking, what is going on in the world? What are we going to do? What's happening? A lot of people there last night. Coleman Domingo doesn't miss. He crushes every role. And he played a newsman in one role. I said, Coleman, I felt like you were playing me. And he goes, yes, I did study you. He said, I studied you. I studied Jonathan Capehart. I studied other journalists. He goes, but it was more you. And then he's in this new thing. I don't know if it's HBO. That's my phone. Sorry. That's my watch. Sorry. Hey, Siri, turn on Do Not Disturb. So, there's another thing called Four Seasons that he is in, the Four Seasons, and I think he is, channeling me as well. Maybe I'm thinking too much, but he said so. Anyway, so thank you guys. Putting on my Do Not Disturb so my watch does not ring. Glad to be with you this morning. So folks there speaking out, people who are in the industry meaning in Hollywood, all speaking out last night and concerned about what is happening in this country. Now, when I tell you that you all have to be willing to sacrifice something, you do. I can't tell you what to do. I spoke with Jolly Good Ginger the other day, and I was nervous. I was, thinking, like folks are saying, don't go out there. They're trying to goad you. They're trying to harm you. All of those things. And I changed my mind in the middle of the stream because I thought about people like John Lewis, obviously Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and others and even my family members, my mother, etc., all and so on, who sat at lunch counters, who defied, the public transportation rules, so to speak, defied all of that, and put their lives on the line and themselves in jeopardy, to fight for what is right. They got into good trouble. And so I believe that we have to get into good trouble too. That good trouble does not mean any sort of violence. It does not mean the destruction of property. It does not mean defying defying police, but it does mean that you have to stand up or sit down or kneel down or lay down for what is right. And sometimes that means, you're going to have to go and you may have a record. You may spend an afternoon in the pokey. I'm just saying, because that's what those folks did back in the day. And please get me the, Nikki, if you can get me the thing that you sent me from No Kings. And I'm going to tell you about the strategy. There are folks who are wondering, like Prof G, like Scott Galloway, are the protesters playing into Donald Trump's hands? He and Jessica Tarlov talked about that on their podcast yesterday. I've been speaking to people about it. And as I told you, I changed my mind because I was worried initially about people using the protesters, and meaning people, I mean Donald Trump, using the protesters because those are the images that he wants. And I believe that is true. But I believe there's a strategy that one must have and people have to have if they are going to do what? Fight back and stand up for what is right. So there is a strategy. Remember the folks during the civil rights movement, they had a strategy. They practiced with people doing the most inhumane things to them, throwing things on them, hitting them, even spitting in their faces. And they had to fight back against that. So the strategy here, I believe, should be to take care of our brothers and sisters if they're out there protesting. There are people, we have way more resources now, not only as people of color, but as people in general, as Americans, to be able to bail people out of jail, to be able to help people get legal defense. All of those things, we have resources. Tyler Perry is speaking out. Kim Kardashian is speaking out, saying that you have to use your platform and your voices to say something about what's going on. And not just the madness that's happening in California and what's going to happen in Washington, D.C. this weekend, but about all of it. Authoritarian and un-American celebrities outraged by Trump's response to LA ICE protests. Now, let me tell you why this is important. And then there's Tyler Perry who's speaking out as well. And I love Tyler's speech and I love Dochi's speech. Let me tell you why this is important. Because you may go, oh, it's just the celebrities. We don't need the celebrities. Kim Kardashian, obviously. You may say we don't need the celebrities, but here's the thing. Celebrities are usually afraid to do this in this type of environment because they want jobs. And think about Hollywood. Think about all of the entertainment companies now. Most of them own the media companies. And these are the people who have to work, except for Tyler. He's got his own business. Tyler doesn't care. So Tyler, thank you for what you're doing. So these are the folks who are spending time going to the inauguration with the president, cozying up to him, trying to get their business deals done. Remember, the people who hire these very folks who are speaking out are Paramount. They're trying to merge now, trying to sell CBS. Remember, it's Warner Brothers Discovery, Warner Brothers Movies. That's who owns CNN. Paramount owns CBS. Disney, which does huge, right? Disney, Pixar, whatever, that's all Disney. They do huge business. They're hiring people, even Fox. So these are the people, these are the companies that would be hiring these people. And they are fighting back. They're saying, no, 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 no. And so they're risking their careers at least. Now, are they going to be out there on the front lines? Are they going to be out there protesting? I don't know. But if you're in Los Angeles, let me know. And if you're in one of the places where they're going to protest, let me know. We're going to hear from the celebrities in just a moment. But I just wanted to show you, that was from The Guardian about celebrities speaking out over protests, okay? Jimmy Kimmel, you know Jimmy he does not play, okay? Jimmy Kimmel is speaking out as well. He's doing it on his show, as he often does, and he's doing it with humor. First, we'll hear from Jimmy Kimmel, and then we're going to hear from the rest of the celebrities. Here they are.
You see here, we have a full house tonight, as we always do here at our studio in Hollywood, which might be surprising for those of you in other parts of the country who've been watching cable news and believe this city is some kind of totalitarian hellscape right now. It most certainly is not. In fact, let's take a look outside, because I want you to see what it's like in Hollywood right now. You won't see this elsewhere on television. Not only is it not an apocalypse, they're having a Disney Pixar movie premiere right now for Elio, a movie about aliens. Don't tell Trump, he'll send the Green Berets in too. Angelenos have been gathering to demonstrate, and with very few exceptions, peacefully demonstrate, to voice their opposition to this disgusting and unnecessary abuse of power instigated by our mentally ill president, who is dead set on exacerbating this, who actually wants conflict, who is intentionally inflaming and lying to make it seem like there's a war going on here. He wants there to be a war going on here, and he doesn't care who gets hurt in it. There's a riot outside. We have more so-called unrest here when one of our teams wins a championship.
Thank you, Jimmy Kimmel. And I talked to you guys about proportionality, and he is speaking out. And you're going to hear from the police chief there in California, in Los Angeles, about proportionality and about how Donald Trump is just flat out lying about the National Guard and Marines and about the scope of the situation in Los Angeles. Because again, I keep telling you every day, this is a show. Now, you guys know that I don't usually like to talk about Trump this much. I tell you, I'm not going to bombard you with all of this Trump stuff. I've been telling you that since the advent of this show. But there are things that are important because I want you to know this is really, really, really important. Okay, are you guys listening to me? This is really, really, really important. It's important because he is defying the Constitution. He is defying the principles of this country. He's defying the governor and the leaders of a state and a city because he wants a show. And I want you guys to understand where we are. If you want to fight back, what you need to do, how you need to do it, you need to be strategic and smart. Okay? Strategic and smart about it. I don't believe at this point, I think folks needed to rest for a while. I think it's time to get up off the couch. I think it's time to, maybe forego a brunch. I think it's time for people of color, all people. I know that Black people, women said, I'm tired. It's time to fight back because this is a horse of another color. As my mom would say, who's texting me now, telling me, you better not go. I bet not go. You bet not go to Washington, she said. Don't go out there. It's time to put on your dancing and your fighting shoes. It's time. Okay? Kim Kardashian, slamming Trump. Now, Kim Kardashian has been working with Donald Trump in some way. Some folks believe that she's MAGA, right? Because she's friends, I believe, with Brittany Mahomes and all that stuff, right? And they're like, wait, what is she doing? Here's what Kim Kardashian put on, I think she posted, is this on Twitter? Kim Kardashian is saying, when we're told that ICE exists to keep our country safe and remove violent criminals, great. But when we witness innocent, hardworking people being ripped from their families in inhumane ways, we have to speak up. We have to do what is right. Growing up in LA, I have seen how deeply immigrants are woven into the fabric of this city. They are our neighbors, friends, classmates, co-workers, and family. No matter where you fall politically, it's clear that our communities thrive because of the contributions of immigrants. We can't turn a blind eye when fear and injustice keep people from living their lives freely and safely. Now, I believe the first part, I think that is good that she's speaking out. The first part is kind of a hedge to me. I just think the first part needs to be, hey, look, I've grown up here. I don't even know if you needed the first part. I mean, meaning when we're told that ICE exists to keep our country safe and remove violent criminals, great. But when we witness it, that is obvious. That is obvious. We are witnessing innocent, hardworking people being ripped from their families. That's where I would have started. Okay? Kim, I'm going to fix it for you. And again, I respect what you're doing. Don't get me wrong. This is me. This is what I would have said. We are witnessing innocent, hardworking people being ripped from their families in inhumane ways. And we have to speak up now. We have to do what is right. That's where I would have started with that. Because we know why ICE exists. And there's no reason to defend ICE in this environment when the administration and the president of the United States, when they are denying people due process. And perhaps that would have been part of my statement as well. I'm no Kim Kardashian, nowhere near as famous as her and as much power, at least celebrity-wise. As a journalist, I can speak in my lane. I stay in my lane. Now, this is more of a statement that I think the energy that most people should have, especially the folks in Hollywood who are being silent because they are concerned about not getting jobs. This is the moment to stand up and fight back. Because if you allow this to happen, then you may never get a job. You're always going to be scared. You're always going to be living in fear. So I want to tell you now, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you hit the like. If you're following us, whatever platform you're watching us on, make sure you hit that. We're over on, if you want your comments prioritized and read, that is on our YouTube platform, where our members there get their comments prioritized. They get read. They're up on the screen, and they get to respond. So like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. It affects the algorithm, and more people become aware of our conversation and aware of our channel here. Okay? So subscribe, also become a member. That's how we stay on the independent streets, and we're not influenced by the corporations nor the government. We do it without fear or favor, as was meant to be in the First Amendment of the Constitution for freedom of the press, freedom of speech. Doshi, let's show the headlines. Doshi from The Guardian says, Doshi calls out Trump, blasts Trump administration's ruthless attacks in LA amid ICE raids. This was Doshi at the rapper Doshi turns BET award speech into a call for justice after White House deployed military forces on demonstrators. Again, this is really important because these are people using their platforms to do this, putting their careers on the line. I know that they're rich. You may say they're rich, they're millionaires or whatever. That's fine. But they're still sacrificing something. Doshi, very great, a great speech. This is the energy that we need, everyone needs. Here she is. Here's her speech.
I do want to address what's happening right now outside of the building. There are ruthless attacks that are creating fear and chaos in our communities in the name of law and order. Trump is using military forces to stop a protest. And I want y'all to consider what kind of government it appears to be when every time we exercise our democratic right to protest, the military is deployed against us. What type of government is that? People are being swept up and torn from their families, and I feel it's my responsibility as an artist to use this moment to speak up for all oppressed people, for Black people, for Latino people, for trans people, for the people in Gaza. We all deserve to live in hope and not in fear. And I hope we stand together, my brothers and my sisters, against hate, and we protest against it. Thank you, BT.
So there you go. And usually, you know, people at these award shows, they say, oh, we don't want any politics. Don't talk politics. We hate it. Don't do it. This is the time to do it. Isn't that nice? Dochi, I'm glad you guys like that. Put some of the comments for Dochi up, please, producers, because Dochi is the queen. That's when Dochi, thank you for speaking out. It is time, everyone. I hope I can motivate you here this morning. I'm usually not a rabble rouser in this way. I rabble rouse my way. I don't like to encourage people to do because I feel like it's not my business. But I think as a journalist and as someone who has a platform now, it is my business to tell you, the Lemon Nation, the Lemon Heads, the Lemon Legends, all of you, within the sound of my voice, this is a time to stand up for your brothers and sisters because you're standing up for yourself. So I believe if there is a protest in your city, your state, your town, wherever it is, I think you need to get out there. I think you need to show in numbers, in large numbers, exactly, you need to show in large numbers how engaged you are, how concerned you are. And if the cameras are going to be there, if he wants the cameras there, there's a way to do it. And I'm going to tell you about the way to do it. I'm also going to show you someone who has some choice words to say about Kim Kardashian and some choice words to say about others who are speaking out. Much, much more to come. But first, a break and a word from our sponsors. The Don Lemon Show today is sponsored by BetterHelp. Look, we are dealing with a whole lot, not just in our personal lives, but also out there in the world, as I have been speaking about now. People are trying to turn our country into a non-democratic country. And that can weigh on your mind, along with the personal things that you are dealing with. June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, by the way. Men today face immense pressure to perform, to provide, and keep it all together. So it's no wonder that 6 million men in the U.S. suffer from depression every year, and it is often undiagnosed. But I want you guys to know, whether man, woman, whatever, that you can get help, that you can struggle. It is okay. We're all dealing with something. Okay? Often seeking out help can be difficult. Finding the time and the money for therapy can be a barrier, but BetterHelp is there to work with you. Okay? BetterHelp's therapy is fully online, making it far more accessible, affordable, and convenient than a lot of in-person therapy. They've served more than 5 million people worldwide. 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapist from their diverse network of more than 35,000 licensed therapists. You can switch therapists at any time. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise, so you can talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off of their first month at betterhelp.com/DonLemon. That is betterhelp.com/DonLemon. Support for the show also comes from Beam. I got a good night's rest. I overslept because I didn't set my alarm. And I forgot. And my team was waiting on the phone on the editorial call and texting Tim and texting everyone going, "Where is Don?" I did not set my alarm. So look, there's a lot going on out there, and people are trying to suppress you, trying to make you not sharp, trying to get you to distract you. That's the right. They're trying to scare you. They want you to get burnout. They want you to tune out to what's happening, and they want you to roll over. They don't want you to stand up and protest. They don't want you to fight back. And that's why I turned to Beam's Dream Powder. It's a natural sleep blend designed to help you get the deep restorative rest your body and mind need to stay in the fight. All right. It's got science-backed ingredients. It helps you to fall asleep, to stay asleep, wake up ready to reorganize, resist, and raise hell without the fog or the crash. Since I started using Dream, my focus has come back, my energy has returned, and I'm ready to face the day, ready to stand up for the things that matter, like I'm speaking about right now. Beam's Dream Powder has improved over 17.5 million nights of sleep for people all across this country. Right now, Beam is offering up to 40% off of their best-selling Dream Powder for my listeners. As a limited time offer and the perfect way to overcome that exhaustion and stay in the fight every day. So go to shopbeam.com and use the code LEMON at checkout. That's shopbeam.com/lemon. Shopbeam.com/lemon and use the code LEMON for up to 40% off. Sleep well, wake up ready, the fight continues. Thank you to our sponsors, okay? So again, you need to fight back, and you need to be strong, and you need to stay in the game. I neglected to play this. This is a member, Assistant Secretary of Public Affairs at Health and Human Services, had a few choice words to say about Kim Kardashian. Okay, whatever, lady. Here's what she says. And her name is Terry McLaughlin. This is why you need to fight back, because they're trying to criminalize and demonize immigrants. Not all immigrants are criminals. They should put up there the people, the immigrants who have helped this country become better, the immigrants who have been an amazing force for good in this country. That's what they should do this morning. And that's what they should be doing out there. I did not, producers are sending me something. I didn't get it, but I'll get it the next time. So this is what this Miss McLaughlin is saying. Kim Kardashian, which is one of these convicted child molesters, which one of these convicted child molesters, murderers, drug traffickers, and rapists would you like to stay in the country? These are just a few of the convicted illegal criminals who have been picked up in the last 72 hours. Now, this is how stupid and dumb these people are. Because they're trying to, again, as I say, make these types of people the face of immigration in this country. No one is fighting for criminals. No one is fighting for people who do bad things. Right, exactly, Kev, the creator. No one is fighting for that. What people are fighting for is due process and for the humane treatment of people, and for using, not usurping the authority of the people in places who have the ability to be able to handle the situation just because you want a show. No one is fighting for that. You're on the wrong page. I would say to her, lady, what are you talking about? None of what you're talking about has anything to do with why people are protesting. People are protesting because there's a lack of due process. So in that due process, if you find out that these people are what you say they are on this thing, then of course they should suffer the consequences. But unless and until you abide by the Constitution and the law, then people have the right to be able to speak out. And people have the right to be able to protest. That's what America is about. This is not a Gestapo. This is a democracy. And they want to scare you. They want to scare you. Other folks who are fighting back, and I mentioned this, before I go to Tyler Perry, because I want Tyler to be last. Eva Longoria is speaking out. Here's Eva Longoria blasting Trump. She's from The Independent. And Eva Longoria, is a Latino woman, very powerful, and always is standing up for what's right. Eva Longoria and Kim Kardashian among celebrities blasting ruthless and inhumane ICE raids, using their voice. Glad they are doing it. Thank you, Eva Longoria, for speaking out. What is Eva? Do we have Eva's quote there, just so I can get it up before I tell the folks about the other thing? In a video, can we find her video? Do we have Eva's video? It says in a video posted on TikTok, actor and producer Eva Longoria described mass deportations as inhumane and hard to watch. She is speaking out. They have also criticized Donald Trump's handling of the situation after the president sent military to crack down on protests. In an unprecedented move, Donald Trump deployed thousands of National Guard troops and 700 Marines to Los Angeles without California Governor Gavin Newsom's permission to do so. As we know, he has done that. Now, this video that I'm about to show you is to show you the liar that Donald Trump is. Okay? Just a big old liar. I don't need to tell you that. Donald Trump is a liar, perpetual liar. Can't help himself. If his lips are moving, Donald Trump is lying. Now you've heard about, what they needed, the city was burning down, all of this stuff. This is crazy what they're doing. But the police chief of California, and I believe this interview was this weekend before some of this stuff happened, but he is directly contradicting what Donald Trump is saying, the reason for sending in the National Guard and the Marines. And the reporter who did this interview did a fantastic job of pointing out the bullshit and did a yeoman's job of what a reporter should be doing and how they should be fighting back and how they should be demanding that people answer questions. Here it is.
We don't need the National Guard, and they're not here to help us right now. They're here to facilitate what the federal agencies are doing on the immigration front. We're here. We have a protocol where we...
See, I'm confused because President Trump said that they were brought in to assist with the protests.
Yeah, well, that's not our understanding, and what I've seen written up is that they're here to protect federal employees and federal facilities.
So they haven't even offered any assistance to the LAPD?
That's not their role. Yeah, that's not their role, crowd management or crowd control. We're doing that, and our protocol is to do it.
So what he's saying is that's they are not there. And also what he says during this interview, by the way, is that Los Angeles, I think he says, is like 65,000. I forget how many square miles of the city. And this is relegated really to a very small portion of the city, and that it is blown out of proportion. If you watch it on the news, if you listen to the Trump administration, that they are just blowing this out of the water or out of proportion by saying the city's on fire, that the folks they're not in control there in the city of Los Angeles. It is just not true at all. Newsweek wrote about the LAPD chief pushing back on exactly what the president said and the reasons that he's giving. again, saying it's a lie. So the police chief is going everywhere, doing the media tour. He's going everywhere saying this is some bullshit. Also speaking out, the Los Angeles superintendent is speaking out against Donald Trump, again, saying he is lying. I was once undocumented. Now I'm a superintendent speaking out against Trump's administration raids. And that's why I said that thing that the Assistant Secretary of Public Affairs, Ms. McLaughlin, put out should perhaps put this person on there saying that immigrants in this country contribute to the success and the well-being of America. Are there criminal are there criminals in for some immigrants are undocumented or not? Yes. But there are also criminals for American-born citizens as well. Trying to demonize and criminalize the immigrants in this country. Veterans are condemning Donald Trump, especially after that mess that we saw at Fort Bragg, Donald Trump using the military, how embarrassing. Our military men and women as props in a speech. Veterans are condemning Donald Trump's misuse of military power amid the LA protests. I played for you. I don't want to play as little. I want to play as little as possible of Donald Trump as I have to, and I played it yesterday. And his speech was a disgrace. Let's see how these veterans. I think it's important to show. Let's see how these veterans are fighting back. Scroll up, Andy. Here we go. President Donald Trump has prompted conflicting feelings among veterans, some of whom strongly disagree with his decision to bypass California Governor Gavin Newsom and deploy the National Guard and Marines to quell Los Angeles immigration-related protests against federal raids in the city. A longtime strong voter base for Trump, some veterans have much like Newsom voiced their grievances regarding Trump's use of military on this occasion. These concerns come amid protests, recent cuts to the Department of Veterans Affairs and several of its programs, including one that provides mortgage assistance. Yes, Ms. Passionate, finally, people are seeing the lies. Christopher Purdy, who served in the U.S. Army from 2004 to 2012 and was deployed in Iraq in 2011, refers to Trump's orders regarding L.A. as a provocative escalation, one that has been extremely discouraging to him and his veteran peers. After the 2016 election, Purdy got involved in veteran organizing, focusing on immigration matters, something close to his heart as his father was an immigrant. Purdy now leads the Chamberlain Network, which works to motivate veterans to engage in political discourse and advocacy. This is a disgrace, again, and it's time to fight back. Now, I want to play, this is also from Chicago, about immigrant rights leaders who are condemning Donald Trump. Let's play this, and I want you to hear from it. And then you'll hear from me.
These raids are about political theater, cruel, armed, and violent. They are part of the same pattern we've seen. Silence is the culture, erase the voice, punish the people. Different tactic, same mission. But we're not scared, we're not silent, and we are not going back.
That's Representative Chuy Garcia in Chicago, using his voice and others around him using their voices as well. I'm going to show you, this is some folks that you may be surprised that they're speaking out, okay? You may be surprised that they are speaking out. But now let me play you, I want to play you Tyler Perry. And Tyler is not just speaking out against what's happening in California and with the sending in the military. His is a much more fulsome, encompassing criticism of the Trump administration. And he's speaking not specifically, but he's also using slavery as an example of the history of this country and how we have fought back, and the sturdy stock that many of us in this country that we come from. You cannot erase our footsteps. Tyler Perry and Doechii condemn erasure, military force, and Trump-era injustice at the BET Awards. Now, I want you to listen very closely. Here's Tyler Perry.
I want to talk to you about this thing that is happening in this country, and I want you to pay attention to it. Don't miss this. They are removing our books from libraries. They are removing our stories and our history. They are removing our names from government buildings. It's as if someone wants to erase our footprints. Because what we need to understand is that if our children don't know our history, they won't know our power. But the truth of the matter, it's impossible to erase our footprints because we left them on water. What I mean by that is, we were snatched from our homeland, brought across the ocean, and left footprints all the way to America. They went into Tulsa, Oklahoma, and tried to burn down Black Wall Street. But yes, we are still building businesses, making our way, building companies, becoming CEOs, because we are still building, still leaving footprints. So this is not the time to be silent. This is not the time to give up. This is the time to dig in and keep leaving footprints everywhere you go. I can tell you this. I have made more black millionaires, hear me when I say this, than any studio in this city combined, because I'm making footprints.
I'm making footprints. Thank you, Tyler. That speech almost brought tears to my eyes. I'm sure it brought tears to some of your eyes, and especially the folks in the audience. And it was a much longer speech. But they are trying to erase us. And so when I say that you have to get out there, or you have to protest, or you have to do something, you have to be willing to sacrifice something, that is what I mean by that. So today it is immigrants that they're using to try to demonize and call criminals and make all immigrants seem like criminals. And so if you don't stand up for the immigrants, then they'll come for the women. They'll come for women's rights, which they have already come for. So they've already come for women's rights. Roe v. Wade. Overturn. Send it back to the states. In many areas in this country, women cannot get the services, the reproductive services that they need. So that happened. Now they're trying to do it with immigrants. Who is going to be next? They're doing it with diversity, equity, and inclusion. They did it with affirmative action. So how much longer are we going to sit down and me just report about it, and you just sit in front of the computer or the phone or the television and just listen? Because then all you're doing is complaining. So I understand when folks say, Don, don't go out there. I understand that. But sometimes you got to go out there, because as Margaret Kellner is saying in the chat, in the comments, they will come after all of us. And we all need to stand strong with each other. Are you guys listening to me? Now, whatever that protest means, not everybody can go out on the streets. I remember during the George Floyd situation, I was sitting there. Let me just tell you this. This is a very tough time for me then, because of what was happening with George Floyd. And I was, in some ways, the face of reporting it on the network. Every time there was something, when there was a protest or whatever, there was something, Wolf, let's call in Don. Everybody, every show, let's call in Don to talk about it. And then I had to anchor it. And some of it I was doing from a home studio. I'll be honest with you. One of the biggest nights of the protest, I was doing it from my home studio, and I felt like I was the only person in the world. I wasn't sitting in a big studio with people around me. It didn't feel like I was on a major network. It felt like I was in my home, just sort of screaming into the home mini camera setup that they have. You guys probably didn't know, because it was just the same background that was in the studio that they fed to my house. Now, most of the time I drove into the city, but there were times when there were outbreaks and there were breaking news things where I had to just jump in front of the camera at home, and I would just jump just like this. That's why I think I learned how to do it. This thing is because I got used to doing it at home. But there was one night where all hell was breaking loose in California, in Chicago, in Atlanta, in Philadelphia, in New York, all over the country. And in Minnesota, all over the country. And I was like, help, somebody please help. I don't know. Celebrities help. And everybody got upset. They took it the wrong way. And perhaps I shouldn't have said it the way that I said it. And Tyler, I mentioned some other folks, but what it was a cry for help for me. And I know that people in their homes, Oprah, I said something, there were people in their homes who they couldn't leave. They couldn't get out. And they contacted me out there. They said, Don, I didn't think it was fair for you to do it. I said, what do you want me to do? Apologize? What do you want me to do? It was a cry for help. I just felt like I was the only one. I felt the world was watching, and they were. And I did not know what to say or what to do. It was a cry for help. Dave Chappelle got mad at me and said something. I called Dave. I'm like, Dave, what are you doing? But it's okay. So now I'm glad that folks are using their voices now because they understand that the people out there protesting need everybody's help. And the folks, here's how this is the culture that we live into now with the people with the biggest platforms. They get what? They get the attention. And they don't really get the attention now from going on traditional television. Where they get the attention mostly now is from social media. Most of you probably did not even watch the BET Awards when it was on television. Most of you probably don't even watch, many of the award shows. I'm just being honest with you. But you have a phone in your hand. You've got social media on that phone. You're watching the clips. The clip that we played from Tyler Perry came from either TikTok or Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. And so now people have a place to be able to voice how they feel. And so these celebrities, these people with these huge platforms with millions of followers now have the opportunity to say something, to stand together and not be afraid. Do not do what corporate media is doing, because then you end up, I should say, ushering in, leading to your own extinction. Now I'm going to tell you how people are fighting back, okay? And how they're being smart about doing it. But first, let me get a word from our sponsors in. Support for the Don Lemon Show today comes from the Freedom from Religion Foundation. The Freedom from Religion Foundation. Look, we're telling lots of stories about everything. People are upset. They're concerned. They don't know what to do. They're like, man, I need something. I need help from somebody, whether it's the government, whether it is from my faith, whether it is from a therapist, whoever it is from. But I got to warn you that lately one group is trying to control the whole story, claiming that the U.S. was founded as a Christian nation and pushing their religion into classrooms, courtrooms, and even your doctor's office. That's what's happening right now. Nationalism. Nationalism, whether it's political nationalism or religious nationalism. That's what they're trying to do. Okay? The founding fathers believed in the separation of church and state, and that's where the Freedom from Religion Foundation comes in. They have been defending church-state separation since 1978. They've been doing it in the courts, in the schools, and wherever religion tries to take the wheel. If you believe government should serve everyone, not just the religious right, then join them. Go to ffrf.us/freedom or text my name, Don, to 511-511 and become a member today. Join us and go to ffrf.us/freedom or text Don, D-O-N, to 511-511 now. Because the only story that should run this country is ours, not theirs. Text fees may apply. Support for the Don Lemon Show also comes from Shopify. By the way, our merch store is up. It's on a Shopify platform. Go check it out. It's on our YouTube page, on the show YouTube page. Go there, go over to the shop, and you'll find the Don Lemon Show merch. Okay, so support comes from Shopify. The origins of this show, just a dream at one point. That dream is now turned into a reality, and you're listening to it and you're watching it right now. Starting your own business is a dream that lots of us share, but too many of us let that remain just a dream because you're nervous, right? You may be thinking, hey, what am I going to do? Do I have the skills? What if I can't do it alone? Well, you need to turn those what ifs into why nots with Shopify by your side. Shopify is a platform behind millions of businesses around the world, 10% of all e-commerce in the US. That's Shopify, from household names to brands just getting started. So again, as I said, our merch store is up on a Shopify platform. So go check it out. We'll show it to you right after this. Word from our sponsors. So it's got all kinds of tools to help you with websites, with social media strategies, with email strategies, and on and on and on. So if you're worried that people haven't heard about your brand, Shopify is going to help you find customers. Easy to run email and social media campaigns. And if you get stuck, Shopify is always around to share advice with their 24-hour, 24/7 award-winning customer support. So turn those dreams into and give them the best shot at success with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/lemon. Go to shopify.com/lemon, shopify.com/lemon, and turn those dreams into. There you go. Okay, now let's tell you about strategy, about how to fight back. Okay. Oh, look, here's our merch store. I said we were going to put it up. So here's our merch store. It is up now. We dropped some stuff, new stuff earlier this week, and we're going to drop some more stuff in the coming days and weeks. So there you go. Please support independent media. This is how we stay out here streaming, and that we stay viable, and that we are able to tell you the truth without fear or favor, report the news without fear or favor. So become a member, subscribe, and also follow us on all platforms. Okay, so thank you so much for that. So there is a group, No Kings, that is offering advice and telling people how to fight back, how to protest. Now, there are protests planned all over the country. There was a protest that they believed, look, this is where protests are planned, okay? All over the country. Now, that's a lot of places, and I think it's good because anytime, if you can draw the cameras off of Washington, D.C., I think that's a smart strategy. Here's what they are saying. They put out a statement because they were going to do it in Washington, D.C., and they said no. And I think this is smart. Now, think about it. So when folks say, Don, are you going to Washington, D.C.? I don't know if I don't think I'm going to go to Washington, D.C. I don't think I need to. And I don't think you need to. I think the better strategy is not to go to Washington, D.C. Okay? So Donald Trump wants tanks in the street and a made-for-TV display of dominance for his birthday, a spectacle meant to look like strength. But real power isn't staged in Washington. Ha-ha. It rises up everywhere else. So instead of allowing this birthday parade to be the center of gravity, we will make action elsewhere, everywhere else, the story of America that day. Okay? Everywhere else, the story of America that day. People coming together in communities across the country to reject strongman politics and corruption. So for that reason, No Kings is not hosting an event in Washington, D.C. We will instead have a major flagship march and rally in Philadelphia to draw a clear contrast between our people-powered movement and the costly, wasteful, and un-American birthday parade in Washington. And then it tells you what you can do. Smart. Now, will there be protesters in Washington, D.C.? I'm sure. But I don't believe the mass and the bulk of the protesters should be in Washington. And as a matter of fact, I agree with them. Don't go to Washington. Let them do their thing. In the old days, you had to go where it was. In this, you don't. There are cameras. Everybody has a camera in their pocket now. You don't have to go to Washington, D.C. And the more that you can draw the attention away from what he's doing in that moment and then correcting, criticizing, analyzing before and after and during on platforms. And we're going to be live, by the way, on the Don Lemon channel. And we're going to be live. Joy Reid and I are doing something together, and as well as Jim Acosta and others. So stay tuned for more details. Okay? So got to get to the conference. I thank you guys for watching today at 10 a.m. I'm going to see you back here at 5 p.m. Eastern time for Lemon Live at 5. So now you are informed, and now you understand that you need to fight back. Please get involved, everyone. And please continue to support all of our independent folks who are out there. From Joy to Jim to Mehdi to Ben over at the Midas, all of the independent journalists who are out here now, and soon now Terry Moran, support us because we without corporate influence, okay? So make sure you hit that thumbs up. The membership link is there. Our merch link is there. And the subscribe button is at the bottom of the screen, just below the comments. So I'm going to see you back here at Lemon Live at 5. And you know what I say? You can be informed without being inundated. You don't have to sit in front of the television. You don't have to check every alert that comes up on your phone. Informed without being inundated. So until then, turn the TV off. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.